What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and we are doing another what-if / experiment, whatever you want to call it. You guys know by now. But Alexander Marsh has suggested to us, or asked us, if at the end of the season, say Larry Fitzgerald is about to retire, I don't honestly know if that's true, if he will or not, could you move him to like Punter, and after preseason move him back to wide receiver? Would it work? Great question. So we all know in Madden, for the most part, the kickers and punters last a while. Adam Vinatieri still going strong, and he's usually in free agency every single after year one. 21 years experience, about to be 45, and he's usually in there still. So what I need to first do is I actually need to see who does retire. And I have a couple of guys like Antonio Gates. I don't know if Larry does, though. I'm actually not 100% sure. So I definitely need to see who retires, and we'll be able to test if this theory works. So I would say I don't really know when players retire, but I think week 15 we're going to move them to punter or a kicker. We'll do punter because that's what he said, but now we're going to do kicker because, let's be honest, kicker lasts longer. And we'll see if that's true. That's actually kind of a cool idea. I don't know if that'd be allowed in the Legacy franchise, but, you know, something if you're on your own and you don't care about rules, whatever, see if that maybe does work. I will also say sorry to him because I probably had this one in the vault for a while. There's a couple of ideas that we had here for a long time that I've not acted upon. And the question is, when do players retire? I honestly do not know. So there's some firings and some hirings. Retirements. We have John Fox. I don't think that actually is like a legit retirement. It's going to go week by week. I would assume. Actually, now let's go on to off season. I would assume it doesn't happen until you sim the Super Bowl. Make sure, you know, not until if you get to the Super Bowl. Got to make sure these guys are retiring and whatnot. So retire. We still have the same amount of players retired, which is 0 at this point. Let's go on. This is probably where we see the retirements. I would assume right here. I never pay attention to retirements because it's very irrelevant to every facet of my franchise experience. I just chose the Jags. I don't know why. I chose a young team, I suppose. So Derek Johnson retires. We have a couple of guys. So we have Derek Johnson, Jari, Tremont, Adrian Peterson, Khalif Barnes. There's a lot of guys here that retire. A lot of them. I think what we're probably going to go for is the main dudes, like James Harrison's a big one, Antonio Gates, Terrence Newman, Julius Peppers. Some of the guys that we really, wouldn't surprise us that they would retire. Jason Witten stayed with us. I don't know if that had anything to do with us being good or not, but spoiler alert, in the Legacy League, Witten does not retire first year for us, so that's nice to have, Preseason game now, advanced week now, preview team now. We're back on the roster, and we didn't go with every single old player you could have ever thought of, but we went with some guys that we know most likely will retire. Andrew Whitworth, 9 times out of 10. Incognito, 9 times out of 10. Gates, 100 times out of 101 times. Maybe you can get him to stay. So what I'm going to do, I didn't do Larry Fitzgerald because obviously he was kind of irrelevant, but what we're going to do is James Harrison and Gates both retire pretty much 100% of the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put James Harrison at kicker right now in the preseason, because the question is, does the retirement process start before the end of the season? Because I know they give you what is it called? They give you questions about what do you think about your player, talking about retirement or this or that, which pretty much guarantees they're going to retire. But if James Harrison's already a kicker, maybe he won't have that because he's I'm still got years left in me. I'm a kicker. I can last till I'm 50. So we'll see. See the Blonda effect here if we got a chance. So here we are in week 17. We have actually a legit shot at making the Super Bowl. Or not the Super Bowl, the playoffs. Where's our kicker? James Harrison, 50 kick power. It's advance. This really doesn't matter too much, but we're still going to advance. The retirement, like we've said, does happen before, it's like right before the sim, so we're going to wait to the last possible moment, because obviously a big part of this is being able to use the players. Very interesting here. We're going against the Steelers. So I think at the Super Bowl week, we will, and we lost, but at the Super Bowl week, will we be forced to switch our players to kicker and or punter and see if we can save them. I mean, this is, you know, we have a lot of, what is that called? We have a lot of experiments / what ifs that are very questionable. We can't really tell, hey, did that work? What's not? But obviously here we have a lot of people to work with, so we know for a fact if all of them don't retire, yeah, they can. But obviously punters and kickers do retire, you know, young, well, not young, but they still retire as well. So a guy like Terrence Newman might still retire, but that might not have anything to do with the actual trick. The trick could still work. Let's get D'Angelo Hall. Jesus. I'm all over the place here. But Hall, I mean, that's a guy that I think could easily survive with this potential trick. Let's keep going, though. Make sure we have everyone we can. Gates, like we said before, is a huge one. We almost every time we know he retires, unless there's some sort of trait involved. Incognito and Whitworth. We don't really need to do this many players, but I figure we get a lot of positions done so we can kind of test it. Offensive line, I think, would probably be one of the bigger ones. I know quarterback isn't really kind of irrelevant. It's kind of irrelevant here because if you think about it, a quarterback usually does stay a long time the way it is. Let's go kicker. So if this works, we should still have most of our players, if not all of them. Into the offseason, the Rams win the Super Bowl. Transactions. So it would appear that I do not think matters. I think even when you try to put them at kicker or punter, the game has them retiring. Larry Fitzgerald retires. Oh, actually, Larry Fitzgerald did retire the first time as well. That's a mistake. Yeah, that's interesting. So which players of ours didn't retire? For the most part, they almost all retired. Julius Peppers, Terrence Newman, Antonio Gates, Harrison, they all retired. Who survived, I suppose? Is there any sort of hope? That's the question. Is there any hope with this kicker-punter situation? We kept Whitworth and Incognito and D'Angelo Hall, so I'm not 100% sure. I guess the answer would be if you really think someone's going to retire, try it. Because Whitworth and Incognito, both offensive linemen, were able to remain in the NFL. And I will say Whitworth, very good percent of the time, he does retire. So, I don't know. I can't really tell what to say about this because it didn't work the way we thought it was. I would lean towards that it doesn't work, but maybe it works for offensive linemen. Thanks again, Alexander Marsh. That was a great idea. That's if you guys have any other ideas like similar to this or just ideas in general, let me know. D'Angelo Hall needs a re-signing. He is not a good kicker. Still wants a mill though. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions for what ifs, experiments, rebuild challenges, a different game. You're like, hey, I've been playing this indie game that's really cool. Maybe you should try it. Who knows? That could be the biggest game on my channel in the future. So even if you think it's dumb, let me know because I'm willing to try. Not really anything, but I'm willing to try most games, most ideas. So once again, thanks Alexander. Thanks for watching as usual for all of you guys, not just Alexander. I mean, I thank him, but thank you for everyone who watches. And hopefully you guys come back for next video. I don't know if this is the first or second video of today, but expect 3 videos on Friday, which is tomorrow. But until next video, see ya! What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and this is another fantasy rebuild, and this time it is of the Raiders. Who knows how different the season could be if Jared Cook never left. The Packers would be in the playoffs right now if he never left. He would trade Seth Roberts, Alawale, and a 3rd round for Christian McCaffrey. Kick the ball, it's Christmas! I got time. Christmas only comes around once in a decade. There was that stupid Calvin Johnson glitch. So I would assume, honestly, I don't know if it's allowed, but they probably removed him from packs completely, and there's no green. So we're going to have to do the slow route, which is choosing the guy with the closest birthday. And excuse me, but that's not a thing that I'll know. So Hugh Jackson, the Hewster, is going to be our man. He's an October 22nd.